So if you look at the anti-immigrant marches, which is what I'll be calling them, you'll hear and see something being repeated. South Africans just want the law to be followed. It sounds reasonable. You'll see it on a lot of social media posts. All it is that South Africans want is for the rule of law to be followed. The first thing that's suspicious about that phrasing is you'll often see South Africans walk up to total strangers and demanding to see papers under circumstances where that is just lawfully not tenable or not lawful in those circumstances. We can't want the rule of law and at the same time undermine the rule of law. People have rights. People have a right to not be approached by total strangers demanding papers. Some people are authorized to do that under some circumstances, like the framing that has to happen before all of those human rights are overridden. That's not in an ordinary citizen's hands. The second thing is, as South Africans, we have normalized having a country where we know which testing centers you need to test at if you want your driver's license and you want to bribe for it. We know this. So we can't, and on the one hand, those of us who are corrupting government in that sense, do that, and on the other hand, demand that the rule of law be enforced and implemented. You have to decide whether you have a country where the rule of law is being enforced or not. There is a social media post that's being shared widely by a South African. It's written by a South African who lives, I think, in South Korea, talking about all the rules she has to comply with. But that's because in South Korea is the kind of country where the law, what you see is what you get, to a larger degree than it is the case with South Africa. In South Africa, what you see is what you get, but it's also about who you know. It's been like that since colonialism and apartheid, where the law chopped and changed so often. You often then needed a person in charge whom you could trust to interpret the latest version of the law, and that was really your biggest source of protection, was who you knew, not what the law said, especially if you are black. And I don't think we have outgrown that impulse or that reflex. It was just the way we survived, and it's where we are now, where the law was against us in two senses. In one sense, it was racist. In the other sense, you could not just read it and trust it by yourself because it changed so often. And then I'd just like to read something I wrote 8 years ago. Who will the spearhead on the ANC's party flag aim at next? Which way is the wind vane spinning? Where is its arrow pointing? Which way is the balance of power shifting? With that, pick a necessary corresponding phobia and ism, anything. No politician can sell himself unless he's presented as above and against another. We've tried xenophobia thrice, shutting down major roads in cities where big companies send staff members home. This came to mind when I thought about the fact that we had the unrest in 2021, July 2021, when President Zuma was arrested. So somebody needed to mobilize crowds to have a type of an effect. 5 years later, it's an election year. I think 2021 was also a local government election year, if I'm counting correctly. We have an election year, and Umkhonto weSizwe is now, that used to be the name of the ANC's military wing. President Zuma has moved out, formed his own party, and that party is now appearing at these marches. Is this a Bell Pottinger situation all over again? Remember Bell Pottinger, the PR company that came up with white monopoly capital and radical economic transformation, a whole narrative designed to protect the Gupta ANC link from public scrutiny by shifting blame and attention? Could something be similar be happening with these marches? Think about it.